following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
Let's go, baby!
Are you ready for a break?
Yes.
Are you ready for a break?
Absolutely.
Ready for a break?
Yeah, and so much for that.
It's time for The Break on DallasCowboys.com.
We were on the break!
With Ambar Garcia, Brian Broaddus, Vach Lombardi, and Derek Eagleton.
It is Tuesday, November 25th, 2025, Season 21, Episode number 84. Welcome to the latest edition of The Break. Live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star, presented by LG. LG is the world's #1 OLED TV brand for 11 years and counting. See why at LG.com/OLED Evo. Amber Garcia is not with us today. She has other responsibilities. So we got Brian, we got Vach, we got Vach's sunshades.
For sure.
We got Vach's chain.
It's a brand.
Is it?
You ever seen my logo?
I have.
It's
Not most people. Most people don't have logos, so that tells you all you need to know. When a person has their own logo, that tells you all you need to know about said person.
He copied Michael Jordan.
Benny the Butcher said. Benny the Butcher said last year was about branding. This year is about expanding.
Okay,
you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm on .com. Y'all may not let me wear certain things or whatever. I'm gonna find a way to sneak the brand in somehow. It's mind game. It's chess, not checkers, man. It ain't what you know is what you can prove in court. You heard?
The facts. All right, we got a lot to talk about today. We got a lot.
He deal with this every day. Sometimes twice a day.
It is what it is. We got a lot
I
we're going to get into
approve
today.
of it, too.
We're going to start first with some injury updates. Man, the injury report looks like a mass unit, not to be unexpected because you have such a short week. You really don't have time to recover. You only have time to basically just move on to the next game and just try to get your body to some semblance of normalcy to try to get this game in. But Cowboys have 4 players that show up on the injury report that did not practice yesterday. Let's go through them. Tyler Guyton with an ankle injury, Osa Odigizua with an elbow, George Pickens with a knee and a calf issue, and then you got Kevontae Turpin, who has a shoulder and was out with an illness. What do we know about each of the 4?
I think the one that has the least amount of chance of playing will be Guyton with the ankle. I think that's the one that's going to be the one. I think the other ones are more of wear and tears of things that happened during the game. But that just the initial talking to people about it, they said that they felt like that was anytime you're dealing with an ankle, in a short week, it's pretty difficult to deal with. So I have a feeling you'll be seeing Nate Thomas at left tackle against the Chiefs on Thursday.
What did you see from Nate Thomas this last week? Because he had a chance to come in that game and played, I want to say he played at 16 snaps or something like that. What did you see from him?
Hey, I think Nate Thomas plays strong. I think he takes advantage of his size. I think the Cowboys had a really good plan as far as helping tackles goes, and I think that helped us a bunch. Yeah. Where that could get a little weird is that every offensive lineman is different with how they want help. Some offensive linemen may want chips to the outside because they can move a little better. Guyton moves much better than Nate. Nate's more powerful. So maybe in practice there may have to be an adjustment. Hey, if we're going to chip the defender's outside shoulder to funnel him into Nate because he's probably more powerful that way. But run game, I think you're going to get movement and power and all those things. But passing, pass setting, moving backwards and things, I think is going to be, we have to keep eyes on that for sure.
Yeah, Vach and I were doing some work this morning breaking down some tape, and you talk about backs and their ability with Williams and the way he's become such a complete back, and when he was at North Carolina, there was a lot of that you could see in that. But you watch him, he has a feel where he needs to be in blitz pickup, or if he has to help. You always worry about running backs getting in the way of the blocker. All of a sudden you go up into the line and now you have a collision and you throw the tackle off who he's supposed to block. And so, that could be a problem. But Williams has a really, really good feel. As far as the Nate Thomas stuff goes, though, I felt like when he was at the Arizona game, he was thrown into that situation and had a bunch of pressures, and he didn't handle that all well. But this time around, only gave up the one pressure in his pass blocking reps, and I think against the Eagles, you would take that all day.
Of note, he was on the right side in that game versus Arizona. This time, he's on the left side.
Right.
Seems like we've, at least from my purview, when I've watched him, it looks like on the left side he tends to be better than the right side. Now we have a very limited sample size, so we really can't say that as a definitive thing. But so far, I have a lot less concerns when he's coming in to spell Guyton than I do sometimes at the time we saw him come in to spell Steele.
I think matchups matter. I think
Fair.
matchups matter. You know, some guys probably are going to give him some more issues. Like, for example, we talking about the Chiefs coming up soon or whatever. Like, Karlaftis is a power kind of guy.
Yeah.
He may be fine over there. But, like, these bendy type dudes may give him a little more trouble. So it's probably going to be matchup dependent.
The Chiefs do have 2 guys on their injury report. Trey Smith, the guard, has an ankle.
Yeah.
Tight end Noah Gray also has a concussion. Talk to me about how those guys fit into what they like to do and how much of a loss it would be if they can't have those players this week.
They'll be fine without Gray, but Trey Smith is massive. Like that, like he's one of the best guards in the league, if not one or two. Powerful dude. Anchors great and all this kind of stuff, and he makes Creed really comfortable, and he makes, you know, all the, you know, like whatever tackles playing with, because Trey's moved all over the place, but he makes guys around him comfortable. So with him being out, those guys may take a bump down. The Chiefs, in my opinion, already kind of having issues run blocking. They pass block really well, but they've been having issues run blocking. But that kind of leans into what we like to do, which is be powerful up the middle and whoop ass on guard. So what's my man's the new guy, Brian?
Mike Caliente.
Yeah, buddy. That sound like a mafia movie or something like that. But he has a long day ahead of him. You know, if you have a Cowboys D line that can deal with guys like Landon Dickerson, Tyler Steen, or Cam Jurgens, then this group is kind of like powerful guys, similar in that kind of way. So if what the name is?
Mike Caliente.
If Caliendo ain't coming to party, it can't be a long day up the middle, and that's kind of how you want to whoop up on Patton now.
So Brian's the official pronunciation guy.
I can't say his name. I can't say
Mike Caliendo. I couldn't
Mike
say it earlier.
Caliendo.
Mike Caliendo.
Is that like the comedian?
That's him.
Caliendo,
Yeah, same guy.
All right.
I know the last name. I just Caliendo is how I'd say it.
Yeah, Mike Caliendo.
Got to take it slow.
I can't get it out fast like I want to. Caliendo.
Phonics, just
It's Caliendo.
It's amazing that Trey Smith, that was a 6th-round pick.
what?
So
Yeah. Yeah, this guy's a 6th-round pick out of Tennessee.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, in the 2021 draft, and he's an outstanding player. That's a big loss.
First round pick on my board though,
Yeah.
Brian Bryce, because teams suck at drafting,
Yeah,
and
teams
sometimes
suck.
YouTubers be right.
But yeah, Mike Caliendo, like he'll I'm sure we'll get into all this with the Kansas City offense here soon enough, but it is a big step back.
Yeah.
A big step back right there. And Dallas, what's the strength of the Cowboys? It's been with those defensive tackles and the way they've kind of taken advantage of guys that aren't really up to snuff at times, and maybe some pretty good ones as well. So this should be a favorable matchup for them inside.
All right, real quick, I did want to get to a topic that we didn't hit yesterday. I want to talk a little bit about the secondary. We saw Kalen Carson back out again this week. We saw Savone Revel out this week. Savone Revel actually played quite a bit in this game. There was the big 41-yard completion to Devontae Smith being guarded by Kalen Carson, but in my opinion, that was pretty good coverage. It was just a great play by the receiver. Talk to me about your assessment of how you thought the corners played, talking about Carson, Bland, Revel, Stewart, who are the primary guys that were out there most of the time.
You know, you didn't see a whole bunch of plays on the ball, but they played as good as you can ask those guys to play Brown and Smith. Like, there's going to be some big plays early, but they'll eventually settle down. And as the pass rush kind of helps, you know, they'll kind of settle in. I think they did exactly what you can ask them to do. I think Bland played a really good game. He really got back from that, from that Marvin Harrison game that really kind of wore him out a little bit. But Bland played well. But as far as the young guys go, I think they were in phase. And hey man, Jalen Hurts ain't good, man. So Jalen Hurts be missing people. But
You love taking shots at Jalen.
yeah, I wasn't wrong. This is a good thing about the internet though. They can call you a hater all you want.
Yeah.
But when it go out there and happen, and millions and millions of people watching on TV, I go, hey man,
I didn't know that was a thing, but I like
Natchez. We don't do math and Natchez. We do arithmetic. But when pressure gets there, his eyes drop and he runs around. Saquon has some catches because he's a dump down guy. Yeah. But as far as finding them guys downfield, I think your corners did a decent job of being around. But let me just state this because this is really important. Jerry Madeline told me to lean in when I say something important. We've been dealing with DBs that leave wide receivers wide ass open.
Yeah.
Like 5-10 yards open. It's not a whole bunch of what happened finger pointing at the end of plays. It's like, just like you said, Kalen Carson was there. He's in great coverage versus one of the best receivers in the league, and he's fighting the ball to the ground. I could take that.
Yeah.
I could take that. I can't take Kalen Carson looking around 20 yards away and we all looking at Devontae Smith at the same time.
Yeah.
So I think
And
that's
him
major,
clapping like.
damn. I think that's major improvement there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you, again, Vach and I had a chance this morning looking at film that one of the things we pointed out was, and he brought to the game, was the 3rd and 2. This gives you a really good example of how they played coverage. 3rd and 2, we've seen the Cowboys in 3rd and 2 play 7 yards off and wonder why they get a first down every single time.
For sure.
And you could watch the 3rd and 2 breakdown, and you could see Deron Bland get all up in the face of Brown and not allow him to get to the inside. And you see coverage. You see guys, playing. Even Bridges is out there. He's having to play for Carson. I mean, there are guys out there that were battling hard in that game against quality receivers, quality tight ends. And so I think, to me, when you watch how these young guys are going to play, they're only going to get better, in my opinion. They just got to keep fighting, and it's not going to get any easier. We'll see what happens with Worthy and Rice this week with Kansas City. You got a quarterback that runs around and extends plays. You got to stay on your guys. It's going to be one of those tough matchups, and then the following week, you got to deal with the Detroit Lions. It just doesn't get any easier. And then you got Jefferson down the road in Minnesota. I mean, these young guys, they're learning a lot right now. You got to just hang with them, give them the opportunity. I think what Vach says is very important is we're not seeing these massive just breakdowns of the scheme or the assignments that we saw, say, in the first 8-9 weeks of the season.
Man, Brian brought us Derek Eagleton. Let me ask y'all this, and y'all in the comments in the chat, y'all can answer this as well. I asked you last week, Brian. I say over these next few games, depending on how Carson and Revel plays, what happens when Diggs comes back?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just kind of want y'all's temperature on that. It probably won't be this week. I think he's available this week, Brian, but he's not coming back this week.
Yeah, I would think, because of the short week.
But it's looking at Lions game, right?
Right.
Where y'all kind of at with how you would roll these cornerbacks out, like moving forward in the Lions game when Diggs come back? Bring them on.
I want Diggs back. I think your team's better with Diggs. And primarily because I was having this conversation with Nick Eatman. I think one of the things that I like about Diggs and Bland from that standpoint is they're guys that if they have a reliable pass rush,
Sure.
they'll get you turnovers because they will start biting routes. They will start playing the gambling game a little bit. And I think one of the things that I think can really take this team to the next level defensively is if they can start getting those turnovers, particularly interceptions, because we also know those two guys, they get their hands on the ball, there's a good chance they can give you 6. And so I actually want a little more of that aggressiveness. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I think I remembered watching on the draft show you were talking about Revel and saying the one part of his game that isn't necessarily like great was he isn't a guy that necessarily gets a lot of interceptions.
Right.
No.
He might knock the ball down.
Skills,
yeah, he's not great at necessarily getting turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean I'm not excited for the future with Revel. What it means is I think right now, as this team is currently constituted, I think having somebody like Diggs out there who will take some of those chances, who could get some of those interceptions, and if you got him on the opposite side of Bland, I think now you can take advantage of this different type of pass rush that you have that's really more of an internal pass rush that can sometimes just get in the quarterback's way to where now it's an errant throw. Mm-hmm. He gets the ball off, but the throw isn't on target like it should be. It's not on schedule like it should be, and that's what creates those opportunities. So I want to get Diggs back. I think he could add something to his team right now.
So when he comes back, let's say we lined up in nickel, right? In our nickel packages. When Diggs comes back, who gets less work?
For me, Carson probably gets less work. I want to keep giving Revel more work because I want to keep easing him along because going into next year, I need Revel to be one of my starters.
Yeah.
So I want to see what I can get out of him this year. So for me, it's Bland, it's Revel, and it's Diggs when Diggs is back.
Yeah, you saw a pretty good example. You got a couple of corners. You get Diggs and Revel out there playing. You got two really long corners playing, and you saw what with Philadelphia though the other day with Mitchell, the way he plays. Those corners that have some length to them are able to kind of knock those passes away and defend them. I think that, to me, if Diggs is healthy, he will help. He will help. And people say, well, what about attitude? What about this and that? You guys don't know, and I don't know. I just know one thing, though. When he is a healthy football player, he can play at a very, very high level. I've seen it with my own eyes. But when he's not healthy, when he's struggling and things are not going well, it could be a big problem for him. He just needs to be completely healthy. And I think if they're going to put him out there, and I think he'll be ready to go. I think this last, these from Detroit on, they're going to need to keep stacking wins on top of each other here if they're going to want to get in the playoffs. I think he'll be a part of that.
I agree. All right, we're going to take our first break. We will come back. We'll dive into the Kansas City offense versus the Dallas defense. A lot to figure out on that. We'll do that when we come back. This is DallasCowboys.com radio.
Hey.
If you can't be at the stadium, there's no better way to watch your Cowboys than on an LG OLED Evo TV. That's because everything you see is more lifelike. Every play, every hit. I mean, you might as well be on the sidelines. That's how clear it is. It's all thanks to LG's legendary technology. Perfect black, over 8.3 million self-lit pixels. No one comes close. LG OLED Evo is the best TV in the game for a reason. See for yourself at lg.com/OLED Evo.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman here, the official pitmaster of the Dallas Cowboys. This holiday season, I've got Yeti's new insulated bowls and food storage working overtime. The insulated bowls are amazing. It'll keep queso warm or guacamole fresh. And the food storage containers protect my ingredients and help me stay organized. They also make great gifts for the host, making Yeti bowls and food storage MVPs for the holidays. Get yours at Yeti.com or a Yeti store near you.
I'm home. Hey, Mom, before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you... Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow. Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service, guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
Cowboys fans, here's the game plan. Touchdown Tuesday at Take 5 Oil Change. Just wear your Cowboys gear and save 25% on your oil change. No huddle, no overtime. Just drive in, stay in your car, and roll out. You'll be tailgate ready in 10 minutes flat. Keeping up with your car shouldn't be a tough call. Take 5 makes it as easy as calling the coin toss. Take 5 is the official oil change of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit take5.com to find a location near you. Offer valid through December 31st, 2025. Terms and conditions apply. Valid only at participating locations.
If you shout, "How about them Cowboys?" you have that undeniable passion that's the heart of Cowboys Nation. And if you like to drink Dr. Pepper, you love the unique blend of its 23 flavors. Together, your one-of-a-kind fandom paired with the one-of-a-kind taste of a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper is the game day lineup that can't be beat. Better yet, gather your Cowboys and Dr. Pepper fan friends to watch the next game and crack open a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper for everyone. The wins will be even tastier. It's a pepper thing.
Back to the break.
Okay, how about this one? Thanks, Beam. I appreciate you being on the spot here. Choose perfection. Choose LG OLED Evo. Check out the best TV in the game at LG.com.
Welcome back. It is the second segment of the break, live from SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star, presented by LG. This segment, though, is brought to you by blockchain.com. Yeah, our producer's gonna kill us one day. We all having all the conversations.
I think it's part of the content now.
You
like
do?
the random banter coming back.
So we ought to just be like, "Hey, Chris, just bring us back in, and whatever we're saying, it will be fine." Nah,
yeah, we just need to have enough sense to not get canceled. You don't trust me?
No,
I ain't getting canceled.
That's what I'm saying.
It
Like
took my whole life to get here.
You gotta be careful. Like I don't like live mics that I don't know are live.
We just talked about whooping people with no home training and how good the 2019 Tigers was.
But I also did mention if it happened to me, I might want to like grab an instrument. Like I can't say that on air, you know. Yeah.
You said something a couple weeks ago. I was like, boy, damn, we'll get fired if we talked about that live.
I don't even remember what that was, but let's not take it away. All right, here we go. Let's talk about the Kansas City Chiefs offense versus the Dallas defense. Let's go. What you guys got?
Brian, you feel like they ain't been running the ball all that well, but they've been wanting to?
They want to try.
And you feel like the lack of the running game kind of make things difficult in the passing game? Like you feel like they got potential to be like a really good passing unit, but the lack of run don't bring it all together sometimes. They just had a real good running game last week versus the Colts. Kareem Hunt had 100-something rushing yards. That made me go look back. I'm like, damn, dog, y'all ain't had a 100-yard rusher. Oh yeah,
even when Pacheco was there,
even when Isaiah was there, and he's trying to play Thursday. I don't think that changes too much. He
does run hard though. I like his running style.
He just like Williams there for us.
Yeah.
But, it's something about when you go to that Super Bowl, man, and whatever happens after, it takes a lot out of these people. And they come back, and they're not the same guy. Creed Humphrey was best center in the league last year. He looks a little different this year, Brian, bro, some of these guys. I think they pass block decently. I mentioned that earlier. Pat holds the ball, second longest, first longest, third longest?
Him and the guy you just played do it.
Jalen Hurts?
Yeah.
But see, Jalen Hurts hold the ball because he can't see. Pat trying to run around and make
Yeah.
something happen downfield. That's why he holds the ball so long, Brian. I think what's going to eventually happen is I think the Chiefs are going to start to try to run the ball against you, see if they can.
Right.
I think the Cowboys D-line or run-stopping unit has an advantage in there, especially if Trey not playing out there, so you really get to beat up on him on the inside. And I think it's going to turn into a game where the Chiefs are going to have to pass the football, and Pat is just as good and annoying as he always is. You got to finish plays with him, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's going to turn into a passing game, and we'll talk a little bit more later, Brian. What you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think only Tennessee, Cincinnati, and Arizona throw the ball more than the Kansas City Chiefs.
Sure.
I mean, they call more pass plays than run plays, and so that's something you have to deal with. Something I went back and looked at because I'm curious with the way Dallas, and I want to ask my esteemed colleagues here. Dallas has gotten into this 5-man line stuff.
Sure. That the Eagles did not watch film on.
Yeah.
They said they didn't know.
Hilarious.
By the way, the funny part about that is the coach literally even said we're going to be doing more 5-man pressure. When they got Quentin Williams, he said in a public statement, we're going to be doing more 5-man fronts.
That's how they get down over there, man.
This is where then I have to ask you guys the question, because this year I went back and looked. The Kansas City Chiefs, they've had 7 of their 11 games. 7 of their 11 games were opponents that did not play 5-man front. The teams that played 5-man front against them, Detroit and Buffalo, only 1 play each, probably a goal line situation there. Vegas played 8 snaps against them. This last game against the Colts, they played 11. Colts gave up 47 yards, 4.2 per play. They had 1 touchdown in that situation. Your 5-man front is really, really good at playing run defense, right? Do you feel like it's your best pass rushing unit or best pass rushing scheme, or do you go back to your 4-man line, which if Kansas City is going to throw the ball 68% of the time, do you not play your 5-man line thinking Kansas City is going to just throw the football?
Yeah. So, Brian, me and you've been breaking this down for a couple weeks now, which is I'm befuddled that the Eagles haven't, because we have.
Yeah.
Your 5-man front is just like a 3-4, is just like a 4-3 over-under, right?
Right.
You don't stay in those base formations when the other team brings out 11 personnel or more. You go into nickel, you go into dime at that point. You ain't wrong. It's just better when we got our 3 big guys out there. Our 3 interior guys just make it all work, our 2 edges, and the linebackers here. What Flus has done, I'm going to give you some credit, Flus. In certain situations, we do go to the 4-man front. It just is what it is, right? What I think eventually will end up happening, because we play a lot more 5-man this week, is you can keep the 5-man front, but you have to be creative with what you do with your linebackers at that point. Okay. You just can't keep 2 linebackers down. You know what I mean? So you can keep rushing 5, and maybe on those third and long, clear passing situations, you'll keep your Mike there. Let's just say that that's overshown or something. And that second linebacker either has to be a Marquise Bell type guy or a nickel corner type guy, just to give them guys extra help in the back. If you can stop the run with just 5 guys and you can really dip your linebackers out there, cool. But to your point, especially versus this team, they got some fast guys on this team. So you want to technically be as athletic as you possibly can be. I think if you're going to roll 5-man front, I think your linebackers got to, we have to use less of them. So I'm thinking one guy that's off ball, one off-ball linebacker, even if you got Donovan Ezeraku on the line standing up or something like that, that's still an edge in my mind. You're going to have to do something with the linebackers to help with the coverage in the back.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that, to me, I think.
But keep rolling it, because them one-on-ones across the board.
Yeah, that's the thing I think that I'm looking forward to is how many of the one-on-one matchups can you get, because I can say it's different with Trey Smith being out of the lineup for Kansas City. And Mike Caliendo having to take over. And Mike Caliendo has he's been in there for maybe 100. I mean, he's played. He's got like 140 some odd snaps where he's had to pass block, but he gives up a lot of pressures.
Yeah.
He's one of these guys. When you look at pressures overall for the amount of snaps he plays, he's the highest by far. So this could be an opportunity for the Cowboys. Like I say, the running game where it scares me with the quarterback running. Because I went back and looked at this morning all the 10-plus yard runs that they've had. The majority of them are Mahomes. Yeah. I mean, I think it was 35 plays I looked at that were 10-plus yard runs. I'm thinking, okay, how are they doing it? How they get Mahomes, drop back, Mahomes runs. That's where it is. They'll hand the ball to one of their backs. Hunt, Pacheco, one of those guys will get a ball, and it's like maybe there's like 2 or 3 of those sprinkled in. Everything else is Mahomes running with the ball, and it's not design runs. It's him dropping back, them wanting to throw the ball,
dipping,
and then him getting out of the pocket and running. I mean, that's where this guy punishes you. And we've talked about playing against teams that have running quarterbacks and they haven't run. This cat is going to run. Yeah. This guy's going to run. And so you got to be mindful of that. And Vach is right. You got to have speed on the field. You got to be able to close on these guys when they get in those situations.
Do you think this is a game where they absolutely have to spy him because of that?
I can't get Flues to answer that question. When I asked him before, he put me on read and then left me on read for since week 2.
Yeah, which is fair. I mean, that's a strategic thing.
But I just wanted to know the philosophy of the spy, and
because if he just don't like to do it, then I'll stop talking.
But we've seen times where Sam Williams, and I'm trying to remember the game, but we've seen Sam Williams like pop up and play in the middle, and then it might have been Arizona, it might have been Kyler Murray or
Carolina or something.
Yeah,
but you got a guy that can do it now.
He didn't play. Yeah. But it was one of those games where you're watching him spy and you're going, okay, well, they're capable of doing it. I just don't know scheme-wise, is that something that they do?
Mm. Well, I would say you got Overshown back. He is made to spy. Like he can run guys down. He can play in the middle. Like everything about him says he's perfect for the role. The question is, again, is the defensive coordinator, does it fit in what he wants to do from the schematics?
Yeah, this is the thing too. I think with Mahomes, he'll wander around in the pocket, and depending on how the rush is, he's another one of those guys like Hurts that might sack himself a little bit.
Sure.
Because I went back and watched all the sacks. This team's really good at pass blocking, and they do it a long time because he holds the ball, and then all of a sudden, I think if you're going to play Overshown in this game, I'm attacking him. I am not letting Mahomes.
You're not gonna spy.
I know. Yeah. If it's like you see him drop back. And we're talking about that. The metrics, the eye test, all that stuff will tell you. They throw the ball damn near 70% of the time.
Yeah.
You're probably going to get a pass. I think you got to pin your ears back and go after him. Don't let him drift around and make plays in the pocket and throw it behind his back or shovel it or what else he's going to. Go out and attack him and kind of tie him up. Because there's times where linemen were jumping up, and he pulled the ball down, and then now that makes him have to think, okay, now what am I doing? And then he looks for the escape.
Yeah.
So if you attack him, I think you have a chance to affect him in this football game.
All right, we're going to take our final break. When we come back, I got some questions for you guys about this offense and some about the Cowboys defense. Hopefully we'll be able to get to one question about Shotty and what he said about the pass rush. We'll talk about that when we come back. This is DallasCowboys.com radio.
Every day begins with a promise to work hard and to build a future. That's why we're here, providing the tools, expertise, and John Deere equipment you have relied on for generations to help you get the job done right. We're with you. That's our promise to you, because no matter the project or the challenge you're facing,
we're with you. We're united. It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
I'm home. Hey, Mom. Before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you... Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow. Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service, guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
From the field to the festivities, Lucchese embodies the essence of luxury and tradition. Handcrafted with meticulous precision, each pair offers unmatched comfort and style. Stand tall while you're tailgating or cheering in the stands with the Dallas Cowboys collection by Lucchese. Shop the collection today at the Lucchese store at the Star in Frisco or online at lucchese.com. Lucchese, the official boot of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
How's it going? You see that Cowboys game?
Oh, I watched. Been seeing some good things.
Totally. They have some talent.
Yup, some great talent.
And they got some fight.
Hoping this is the year.
Me too. Oh, I'm Cody, by the way.
I'm Travis.
Nice to meet you, Travis. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys!
Make a new friend based solely on their shirt choice. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation.
Back to the break.
Brian.
AT&T, connecting changes everything. Kind of help you wear your headset every once in a while.
It does. Welcome back to the final segment of the
I was
break.
just ready for Beam to yell through the headset. I didn't hear him.
You can normally hear him in there.
I know. He usually kind of soft played me there.
Because he's yelling over us normally, but this time he was just like, go.
Yeah. You're back. Welcome to the SWBC Mortgage Studios
Go,
at
Brian.
the Star. I have some questions for you guys. Here's my first question about the Kansas City offense. Which is the bigger challenge for Dallas? Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, or Travis Kelce?
I think for this particular defense, and it's constantly growing every single week, we learn something new. I think the deep ball to Worthy could be an issue.
Yeah.
Because that's just how we give up points. Rashee Rice is like a physical ball in hand guy, bigger, like go tackle him type dude. Kelsey's not as good as he once was, but he's really smart, like finding zones and kind of stuff. So, I mean, you would have to figure that out, but he ain't gonna get you in one play. I think and Hollywood Brown can run too.
Yeah.
Both those guys can run, so you have to think about that. But I don't think the Cowboys can be absolved from the idea that people could just run past you, because we've seen like lesser guys like run past the Cowboys. You know what I mean? And these are guys that are built to run past you. So I would say that those guys in particular, Worthy and Hollywood.
That's track speed you talk
track
about.
speed for sure.
Yeah, I think the thing with Kelce has played a little bit better. I mean, when you watch him, he's still one of those guys that seems like in big games he shows up, but I worry about the speed overall, like the stuff, with the they're really, really big. Their offense is big on throwing the ball underneath and letting those guys run.
Yeah.
It's not about, there's some deep ball elements to it, but it's really Mahomes kind of getting the ball out and them taking off and running. So, you got to worry about things. Dallas has kind of shown that they're still struggling with things in the flats.
Yeah.
You got to worry about the ball going to the flat and how they're going to get the ball to the flat. And they'll throw screens. That's another thing. Seems like every time anybody throws a screen against Dallas, it's an 8-yard gain, maybe even more. So those are the things I worry about. I think that, but the speed overall of their receivers, I think, will be the challenge this week. I think you got to really, as soon as the ball's thrown, go tackle. Just don't let 4-yard gains be 24-yard gains.
Yeah.
Brian, Derek Eagleton, how would you guys match the the corners up with these wide receivers? Because all their wide receivers are different. Is this a bland Chase Rice game, or is this a bland stays in the nickel game and let your outside guys be outside? Like, do we get more ready this game because you're trying to move Bland to the outside to deal with the faster guys? How would y'all roll the corners out versus these guys?
You know what? I don't know that I've seen enough from these corners yet to know that any of them has specific skills that make me want to match them up with an opponent in a certain way. Like right now, I feel like, and this could be wrong, but I feel like the corners are just kind of like a mashed group of guys. And I don't know that I see like, oh, this guy can really shut down this. He can handle speed, or this guy can really handle aggressive big aggressive. I don't know that I've seen that yet. It seems like they're kind of all over the board, and sometimes they have success, sometimes they don't. And it's not necessarily, as you said before, we've seen lesser receivers beat them, right? So I don't know that I have a way that I feel like you got them. I'm just like, basically you line up as you line up, and you got to cover whatever you got to cover, whether it's a zone or you got the guy that you're covering. I think it creates some challenges because I think the speed is still going to be the speed. And I don't know that any of the Cowboys corners are track speed guys.
No.
So I think you're going to have that problem. I don't think anybody's going to match up really well in that way. If I'm answering your question correct, I don't really know that there is a way that I would divide that up. You just kind of have to line up and play it.
Would you like a hot take, sir?
Sure, go.
I think Savon Ravel is the most talented cornerback that you have in this room. He may not have all the veteran stuff or all the technical stuff or like time on task, reading routes and stuff like that. But as far as like a physical body, I was worried about his knees. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like, take it back to the Raiders game. Me and Brian was watching film. If it's one thing that's catnip for Brian Broaddus, it's a wide receiver crossing the field and a corner being able to run across the field with him. That's one of the hardest plays to deal with. Revel followed Trey Tucker from depth.
Yeah,
and followed him.
I saw that
the
play.
field.
Yeah.
So that let me know he can kind of fly a little bit. And then when you just watch Revel just in and out of some of these plays, you see how massive he's a big dude.
Yeah,
that can run really well.
You can see that just watching him on the sideline. You standing there watching, you like he's bigger than everybody else out there playing corner.
Brian been saying this for a couple of weeks now. I mean, you would wonder that Revel maybe is a Kelsey guy this week.
Yeah, maybe a hybrid tight end killer. Okay, is what I would say. Just matching up with the size and stuff like that, and how competitive you have to be, and his ability to kind of carry some routes the way he does. I was on with Jeff Kavanaugh this morning before Vach and I were doing, and Jeff brought up something. It was interesting about, I think it was a stat about Rice, the wide receiver, real quick. And I think, I just can't remember if it's Worthy or Rice, but one of their receivers is a huge threat against zone coverage. I think it's Worthy. Huge threat against zone coverage, and you get him in man, he can't function.
They sound like Rice because
it's God, I think it might be Rice.
Separation.
I can't remember which one Jeff said, but it was one of those things where, like, when you look at the splits, like against zone coverage all day, man coverage, it's like 5 targets, 1 catch. But running routes against zone, it was, and I was trying to remember which one, but to me, like I say, yeah, these are the problems that you have to think about. You have to think about the matchups. You have to think about, to me, I think you have to almost be physical with these guys. I think you have to you do not want to give these guys free access and let them run. That's why they move them around to try and keep people from banging them around at the line of scrimmage. So to me, I got to figure out, I don't know about matching them up, but what I do know about, though, is be very mindful of free access in this thing. Don't just let them have track speed starts and runs at you and then carrying you down the field the way they do.
Comments say it was Rice. Go ahead.
It was Rice? Yeah. I knew it was there's a big split number that against man coverage, he's awful. Against zone coverage, he's one of the best receivers in the league.
Because Rice probably not a guy that can shake you off, from a coverage standpoint. But like in zone, he'll sit in the zone and go be yak guy somewhere. So that makes a little bit of sense.
Let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about the pass rush. Shadia mentioned earlier, I think it was yesterday, that they didn't get as much pass rush in this game as they would have won. I know as you're watching the game, there were certainly moments when it seemed like Hurts had a lot of time in the pocket without necessarily having a lot of pressure on him. What do you guys think was the issue? If you look at how the Cowboys rushed the passer, what did you think it was a problem, number one? And number two, what do you think the problem potentially was?
I think versus an offensive line like that, I think there are going to be times where you win and sometimes you lose. There were times where Hurts was kind of just sitting around comfy, but I don't want to sound ungrateful because teams to do that all day versus the Cowboys just a couple of weeks ago. But there were times where the Cowboys definitely got their win. This is one of the better games from Williams, Quentin Williams. This is one of his best games of his whole life pressure-wise.
What, 21 pressures, I think?
Eight this game.
Okay.
So he might be up to 21 in 2 weeks or something. Like he may be up to that now, or 3 weeks or whatever. But I saw a lot of push in the pocket, and honestly, Jalen Hurts. Sorry, y'all, but like he'll get rid of the ball quickly sometimes. Like if he ain't got nowhere to go, he'll just throw it to somewhere. So maybe the hits and sacks didn't all the way add up, and sometimes him running around can kind of, mitigate that a little bit. But I think the pass rush was it helped in coverage definitely, because there was a whole swath of time where if Hurts was missing or dumped the ball down, it was because somebody was in his face quickly. So, I mean, Shotty know better than me, but I kind of disagree a little bit.
I wonder if the 5-man line has something to do with this. I wonder if having bigger guys on the field has something to do with your pass rush. And we always like to talk about, maybe lighter guys, more edge guys on the field. Vach always says about with the NASCAR packages and stuff like that teams have, where they put 4 edges on the field and just go rush you. And I wonder with just the bigger body guys, you're rushing a different way. You're doing a great job defending the run, playing 5-man line, but are you really getting the most out of your pass rush? When all of a sudden, when Maris Leofau is coming on a blitz and Ezeraku's dropping, I don't know if that's a good thing, But what does it do? It sets something up for somebody to be one-on-one with somebody because of the way the scheme works. I just don't know if Dallas has – I don't know if they have that. I think Ezeraku could be that guy. I just don't know. Like, we're expecting Sam, and I think Sam played better in the game, but still, you just don't. Him and Fowler and those guys, they were really leaning on those guys. It just hasn't materialized like we thought it was going to be. Their 5-man line might be the best way for them to get pressure just because of their ability to push the front of the pocket.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I agree. Final thing I wanted to hit before we end the show, the snap count. When you look at the snap count, the guys that have come back from injury actually played quite a bit this last game. Revel played 62% of the snaps. Overshown played 59% of the snaps. One thing that popped out to me, though, is you look at the linebacker position. Logan Wilson, new addition to the team before the trade deadline. He only played 38% of the snaps. Kenneth Murray, who we all assumed he was coming here to replace in some sense, had 62% of the snaps. My question for you guys is why, and did you see anything that suggested maybe that this was a good decision and maybe that Murray took advantage of it and played well?
I would have to watch the film with mess in my mind. If I had to just be messy real fast and assume that they just took turns drive, just you get a drive, and maybe some drives lasted a little longer than others, and maybe that had something to do with it. Like maybe it wasn't purposefully, Murray, we want you to play more. Maybe just some drives.
But it was almost double. So it was a significant difference between their play percentage.
If I had the time, because I don't, because we just moving on to something different. But if I was messy enough, I wonder if, I ain't gonna say it. I'll say it later. But I just wonder why that's the case. If they just took turns drive for drive. But I don't know. We'll see. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, in the second, obviously you played more in the first half. You probably had a lot more plays than maybe in the second half. So maybe that was part of it.
Damn, boy, they showed a lot of first downs on this group on the field. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing.
Oh no, the fun one's always when you go back and look at how somebody ran the ball against you.
Yeah.
And some guys on the field, when he's on the field, like Sanborn's on the field, it's less than 4 yards a carry.
Yeah.
Every other linebacker, it's 7-8 yards a carry.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's. To me, I kind of feel like, though, that we're going to get to a point in time where it's going to be more Logan Wilson.
Yeah.
I think that they're just trying to get Logan Wilson as acclimated to what's going on. I mean, he made a really nice stop on third down. The ball was thrown underneath, driving on the ball, getting him to fourth down. I mean, he just has that kind of awareness, that kind of ability. We talked about him the other day, the angles that he takes in coverage. Murray, God bless him, he jumped a slant route on that 3rd and 2. It's like where did that come from? Kind of a thing. But I have a feeling that the coaches are going to start. They're going to start playing they're going to start playing Logan Wilson more.
Well, I guess that's really the question. Is there anything
He's a better
you guys
player
have seen?
right
That's my
now.
point.
Yeah. He's a better
player. Have you guys seen
Yeah.
anything from Logan Wilson that makes you think he should be getting less plays?
No,
Okay.
he's
doing all the things you would have
be playing.
expected him to do.
Coverage
when
is
they
night
first
and day.
Yeah.
Coverage is night and
Absolutely,
day.
yeah.
Especially when the Eagles threw the ball a little more than running, and we're gonna see the same thing versus the Chiefs as well. They're gonna probably throw the ball a little bit more. It's
Intentionally.
It's night and day difference.
All right, we appreciate you guys joining us. We're back tomorrow. We'll wrap this thing up. We'll get into the Kansas City defense versus the Cowboys offense. We'll tell you what we think is going to happen on Thursday. Till then, for Vach Lombardi, Brian Broaddus, I'm Derek Eagleton. This has been The Break live on DallasCowboys.com radio.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this?